everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Now it's getting to that time of year where I'm starting to notice a lot more YouTube commentaries and articles about silver and gold price predictions for 2020 and beyond. And the question that's on everybody's minds is, will this silver shiny stuff here outperform its big brother, gold? This gold bug, by the way, is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. More on this as we go throughout today's video, as Heads or Tails Coins Collectibles, who've made this, are today's video sponsor, but we will talk about that in a bit. The topic of today's video, though, is all about silver and gold price predictions. I will be talking a little bit about some of my thoughts, and I guess a few of my predictions, I suppose, or some of the things that are important to me in terms of my buying strategy with regards to silver and gold going forwards. But I wanted to do a little bit of a commentary on silver price predictions, gold price predictions, because I do think that they're a bit dangerous. There's a lot of bias a lot of the times in some of these articles that you might look or see or read. There's a lot of interpretation. There's a lot of very loose interpretation sometimes that goes on with some of these chart reading. It's almost like reading bones that you've thrown, you know, it's the mystical seer reading the future. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, and that's a really important thing to remember. So today's video is all about that. I'm not a financial analyst, I'm not a financial expert, I'm just a guy who likes to buy shiny things. And as I said, I will be drawing in some of my own thoughts on buying silver and gold coming into 2020 and beyond, and a bit of my strategies going forwards. But that doesn't make it financial advice, it's just me rambling at the camera. So the most important thing is to go ahead and make up your own minds on these type of situations, because ultimately you are the one that's in charge of your finances, and if you are reading and looking at different sources out there, that's an important thing. Look at different sources. Don't rely on just one particular source for all of your information with regards gold and silver price predictions. They often might well come with bias. You might well see big bullion dealers putting out articles that silver's going to shoot the moon, or silver should be going up and up and up. But that's not necessarily the case. And remember, they're the ones that are going to sell you the silver that you're so heavily emotionally invested in because you've read this article from them all about silver. So there's definitely things to factor in about that, and looking at where you're getting your information from, having all of the different sources out there. The next thing I'll say, and I suppose, this is the most important thing, is that nobody knows. Nobody really knows. One of the important things about gold and silver is that it is a safe haven asset, and it will have that kind of lure for a lot of the different big buyers out there in the market that might see the stock market or the turmoil in the world at the moment going on as an indicator that they need to have safe havens. Yes, that's definitely a factor, and that's something that bears, a lot of. It bears a lot in my mind as to what I want out of gold and silver, because there are things going on in the world like right now with Brexit and the value of the pound versus the euro versus the dollar, which fuels our gold and silver prices. There's the US-China trade wars. There's Donald Trump's potential impeachment. As unlikely as that will probably ever actually come to happen, it's still a lot of turmoil, and it has a lot of doubt and unsurety in the market, which is the most sort of important thing to factor in. So that's definitely something to think about. Now, before we go on with the rest of my kind of thoughts on silver and gold for myself and what I want to purchase going forward into the future, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Heads or Tails Coins and Collectibles. They have very, very kindly sent me, in fact, I'll get the gold bug out again, this incredible coin that I've been playing with for the first couple of minutes, and it's just stunning. This is, of course, a Roman Bullion replica, the gold bug. Now, if you don't know who Roman Bullion is, he's a Russian coin artist who takes coins, well, predominantly Morgan dollars, and he changes them into absolutely incredible things. We've got two of his fine examples here, and these are officially licensed replicas, by the way. They are not just random pieces that have been taken. I'm going to have to do some tactical hiding behind my camera here, because this Morgan is very shiny, but they are absolutely incredible. We had the trap coin, and I've done a video on that one before, and now the gold bug is out, and in very soon, I think. I don't exactly know when, I don't have a date yet, but they are working on the Banksy coin as well, which should be incredible, and I would imagine that's going to have some form of shredding activity on that picture, because that's what happened when someone bought it at auction. So if you are interested in this coin as we go throughout today's video, it's definitely worth looking at as a very cool collector's piece. It's not a cheap piece of silver and gold. It's got a real 22 carat 10th ounce gold blob in the middle there. It's very, very cool indeed. It comes from Heads or Tails Coins and Collectibles. put a link to their website down in the description below, and they very generously offered a discount code for not only this. So if you want to get $50 off the bug, it's backyard bug as your code. All of this information, by the way, is down in the description below, and I'll make sure that you have the links to the actual items as well. But as well as that, you can also pick up the trap coin. I think there are still some left over at the moment, and by the way, this trap coin is incredible. If you've not seen it already, I'd highly recommend. I'll try and remember to put a link to the video down in the description, but basically you press the gold coin in the middle there and some traps come up and eat your fingers. It's very, very cool indeed. There is also a discount code for that particular coin, $50 off as well, and that code is backyard trap. Backyard bug for the bug and backyard trap for the trap coin. So go on over to Heads or Tails Coins and Collectibles website, link down in the description below. If you're interested in those, then do pick them up. Full disclosure, we do get some kickback from the sales of these. I don't want to, and this is kind of bringing into the sort of topic of the video, I suppose, price predictions. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is going to be a fantastic financial investment. It's a pricey coin, it's a pricey collectible. That is for you to decide whether or not it is right for you. If you enjoy this kind of thing and you want to have something very unique and very special, then it's perhaps something to look at and think about. But please bear in mind that it's not a financial investment. It's a piece of art that you're looking at. So that's very important to remember. So that brings me back to the kind of topic, I suppose, of silver and gold price predictions and seeing where things are going to go in the future. Nobody truly knows what's going to happen in the future. And that's the most important thing to remember. It is very, very hard to get things right in terms of predictions. And I almost think it's a little bit... this is why I don't like making these type of videos. It's a little bit irresponsible almost to go ahead and say that silver's going to shoot the moon or silver's going to do this, this and this in 2020. Even if you're doing some fancy chart analysis and you're thinking, yeah, it's going to go up and up and up. It's going to be $100 an ounce by February. It's going to be $1,000 an ounce by September because you're looking at some random piece of article news that says that silver supply has diminished over this last couple of years. You know, there's so many different things at play that nobody really knows the answer. But that is one of the things that actually draws into silver's favour in terms of not knowing what's going to happen in the future, because ultimately silver is quite volatile and it does have, you know, it has lower lows, but it has higher highs, which would arguably mean that perhaps silver is going to be the better purchase for the long haul. However, that doesn't necessarily lead to what I want out of silver in terms of my own purchasing. I think that silver, I can't do this with gloves on, I'm sorry, it's very difficult to get that trap reset without gloves, with the gloves on, but we'll just admire it for what it is out here as it is. Now, it's very difficult to basically have a lot of silver in your possession without it being a bit of a burden, and that's one of the things that's annoying. It's one of the things that I play a lot into my mind, but the volatility of it and the ability of it to make some money is something to factor in as well. So I am still going to be purchasing silver going forward into 2020. So this is coming on to a few of my price predictions, I suppose, for 2020, as much as one can predict them. I feel like I'm being a little bit hypocritical here about saying how you just can't predict it, and then I'm going to talk a little bit. I personally can see Brexit dragging on and on. Whether we get this deal that's going through Parliament or not, we've got an election happening at the moment in the UK, and that's going to cause another hung Parliament probably, and further, I think, just uselessness from Parliament with regards to Brexit and getting things done. So I can't see a quick resolution to Brexit. And even if we do get this deal pushed through, there's going to be a transition period where we will basically be still in the EU, doing the same trading, and then at the end of 2020, or perhaps later, we'll have another deal negotiated for our trade arrangements. Who knows? That's, you know, it's just, nobody truly knows. And that's something that's really, really difficult. So safe haven assets are pretty good as a hedge against the value of your currency that you live and work with. So pounds for us, you know, they've gone down quite considerably over the last couple of years. There's been a bit of an uptick of recently, which is, I think, due to the fact that no deal Brexit is looking pretty much unlikely right now. It looks like we're either going to get this deal and a transition period into some kind of trade arrangement, or we're going to get some kind of sort of revocation of Article 50 or a referendum, and then we decide to stay in. Who knows, is the honest answer. Now, in terms of what I'm going to be purchasing, I will be purchasing silver going forwards. I think that silver right now is a good buy. It does have its benefits, but it's not going to be a long-term purchase. And the reason for that is because this stuff hidden underneath the gold bug's wings here, that is what I think is the best thing to buy for the long term. Now, I do get a lot of comments when I say things like that, that people go, but the silver-gold ratio is so much in silver's favor right now. Why would you buy gold? The liquidity is the answer. The liquidity is the biggest factor that I have to think about for this stuff. And I think it's one thing that a lot of people don't necessarily factor in. They read and see all of these things about silver price predictions saying silver is going to be the best thing since sliced bread, and it's going to be the best performing metal in 2020. It only performs well if you sell it. That's the most important thing. If that's the one most important thing you take out of this video, out of my rambling commentary today on silver price predictions, is that you don't make a dime, you don't make a penny unless you sell your silver. And selling silver is not an easy thing to do, especially for us based here in the UK. Gold is where it's at if you want the security and liquidity of a precious metal. And this is, I guess, my last little prediction here. I cannot see in any way gold and silver ratios dropping back to a historical low. Even if they do drop, it won't go back to 40 to 1 or 30 to 1 or anything like that. It might get 70 to 1 again, but it might also extend back up and out again. Who knows? Nobody does. That's the important thing to think about. I personally think gold has so much more in its favor for us here in the UK. Now, for you guys in the US watching this video, you will have a bit of a better time of it because you can purchase your silver at a more competitive price point. But for us here in the UK, even if we buy from European dealers, which is an avenue that might close with Brexit, we have to pay 15-20% over spot price as a bare minimum. That's just the way the world works for us here in the UK. But, you know, it does have potential benefits in the long term. You can sell your silver at that premium. It takes a bit of effort though. You need to sell either on the secondary market, on eBay. You know, it is the market price point for people in the UK. However, there was a chap on the forum, and I wish him all the best with his sort of silver selling, but he has 28 1 kilo bars that he's looking to sell. And the swing of percentage that he's got to deal with there is very significant. And if you are in the UK and selling that much silver, there really is only one option, and that's going to a dealer very, very early on. You know, it's obvious that that's going to be a potential loss leader. If you buy silver at 20% over spot and then say silver goes up by 10%, you go to a dealer, they're going to give you spot, you're still down 10%. Yes, you could potentially sell that on the private market and earn a 10% profit, but that's a lot of work, it's a lot of energy and effort, especially with gold bars, because silver bars, because they are often seen as the harder sell because they're just less desirable. Coins are where the big future is, I think, for silver investing. So there's lots of lessons to be learned. Price predictions are, I think, an important thing to read and to get a grip on what's happening in the market, what's important to different players within the market, but always with a pinch of salt. That's what I will say. And if there's any bit of advice in this video, you know, it's not financial advice, I need to reiterate that point here, but if there's any advice from this entire video that you take away, always, always, always have just a separate mindset to what is the article writer having in mind when he's written this. Is there a bias? Is there a different opinion that he's trying to get across to make you think about it? You know, fake news, all of this is at play here. You know, these, even myself, I've got an agenda here in that I am against silver in a certain way, and that's something which some of you might disagree with, and that's fine. But always, always, always have it with a pinch of salt. Make sure that what you're doing for you works for you and your situation and nothing else. That's the most important thing. Now, if you disagree with my opinions and my thoughts, that's absolutely fine. In fact, one of the reasons why I make these type of videos is because I like to be able to see what people think and comment with you down in the comment section and have a fun, healthy debate on this subject. So please feel free to drop a comment down below with your thoughts and opinions on silver price predictions for 2020. And also, if you're in the UK, what are your thoughts on silver and gold purchases going forward into 2020? It'd be very interesting to hear your thoughts. One last mention of today's sponsor, Head or Tails Coins and Collectibles. If you are interested in either of these coins, there are $50 discount codes available for the trap. It's Backyard Trap. There's all the information down in the description below, including the links to these coins on the Heads or Tails Coins and Collectibles website. So Backyard Trap for $50 off the trap coin here, and Backyard Bug for $50 off this absolutely stunning gold bug coin. Now I will be doing another video on these at some point in the future, and we'll actually go through a lot more information about them, my full review of them, what I think about them at some point, so watch for that video if you'd like to find out more about those. In the meantime, thank you to Heseltales Coins Collectibles for sponsoring today's video, and thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do put a thumbs up on this video and share it around on your social media. Otherwise, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic week ahead. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.